Alright, hey guys, this video is going to go over simplifying before you multiply. Alright, in this video I'm going to show you a way that you can simplify before you multiply. Take a look at this problem. It's a multiplication problem with fractions. Okay, in the last video you guys learned that you could just multiply straight across. So 3 times 8 is 24, 4 times 9 is 36. Now, we always told you that you need to simplify. Okay, so I'm going to try to think of a number that goes into 24 and 36. Well, one number that I can think of is 6. I'll just divide the top and the bottom by 6. 24 divided by 6 is 4. 36 divided by 6 is 6. Now I need to look at that fraction. That is not simplified. Okay, 4 and 6, 2 goes into both. Okay, if I do 4 divided by 2, I get 2. 6 divided by 2, I get 3. So my final simplified answer is 2/3. Alright, so I'm going to show you a different way to do this problem where you simplify first. Instead of doing it at the end, you simplify first. So here's what you can do. You can look at your two numbers going up and down. You can just look at this fraction. You can try to simplify it if you can. 3/4 can't simplify it. 8/9 can't simplify it. You can also look at the diagonals and try to divide something out of both of them. Okay, so look at 3 and 9. Is there a number that goes into 3 and 9? Yeah, 3 does. So what you can do is you can divide a 3 out of both of these. So I'm going to just cross that off. What's 3 divided by 3? That's a 1. I'm going to change that to a 1. Here, I'm going to do 9 divided by 3, which is 3. I'm going to change that to a 3. Okay, so I divided a 3 out of the top and the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to look at the 4 and the 8. Those are diagonals too. Okay, 4 and 8, both 4 goes into them. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay, now I just kind of simplified it. I can go straight across now. What's 1 times 2? That is 2. And then 1 times 3 is 3. Now you might notice I got the same exact answer here. 2/3, 2/3. In the first example, I times first, then I simplified. In the second example, I simplified first, and then I got my answer. Alright, so you might want to put this in your notes. When you simplify in a multiplication problem, you can only simplify vertically, that's up and down, and diagonally. Alright, let's try another one. This was the last question that was on your form before. I'm assuming you probably went straight across the top, straight across the bottom. Now let's see if we can simplify. So let's look at the diagonals. Can you think of a number that goes into 4 and 12? Well, 4 does. So I'm going to divide both things by 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Okay, I'm going to look at these diagonals. Is there something that goes into 11 and 33? Well, 11 does. 11 divided by 11 is 1. 33 divided by 11 is 3. Now I'm going to show you another one that we didn't do in the last example, but look up and down. Okay, 3 over 3, that's the same as 1. So I'm going to divide a 3 out of both of these. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Now look what happens when I multiply straight across. 1 times 1, that gives me 1. And on the bottom, I also have 1 times 1, which is 1. 1 over the 1 is the same as 1. So there is my final answer. Now here's another page that you might want to take a screenshot of for multiplying fractions. Now we had steps before, but now these steps you can use. The only one I added is to simplify diagonally or vertically before you multiply. The rest of the steps are exactly the same. Alright, let's try this one. Okay, now these problems you can do a variety of different ways. You don't have to do it the exact same way that I do it. You might see something else. So, like for example, I'll just show you real quick. I could look going diagonally first, like 25 and 125. I know that 5 goes into it, or maybe you see that 25 goes into it. Either way that you do it, you're still going to end up with the same answer. Or some people will start this way. They might divide a 5 out of both of these first. Okay, it's fine. Wherever you start, you might not start the same place as I do. You still might get the same answer. So let's just do this one together, then I'll have you try some. So I'm going to start actually going diagonal here. 55 and 66, I know 11 goes into both of them. So I'm going to do 55 divided by 11 is 5. 66 divided by 11 is 6. Okay, now I'm going to come this way. Now, I know that 25 goes into both of these. If you guys don't know that, that's okay. But 25 divided by 25 is 1. 125 divided by 25 is 5. Now, if you look here, going up and down, 5 divided by 5, that actually is 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Now I can multiply straight across. 1 times 1, that gives me 1. And 1 times 6, that gives me 6. So my final answer is 1/6. Now, sometimes when you work this out, maybe let's just pretend that you didn't see that these 5s could simplify. Let me just pretend that. Let's say you kept those both as 5s. And you times straight across. You got 5 times 1, which was 5. And down here, 5 times 6, which was 30. Now, you might end up with an answer like that. You still need to check and see if you can simplify. So then I would still need to divide by 5, and I would end up with 1/6. So always make sure when you're finally done, you might miss some things, that you check to make sure it's simplified. Okay, I have 2 examples. I want you to push pause and try these. When you're ready to see the solution, push play. All right, welcome back, guys. So let's see. I'll go through how I would do these. Now, you might have started in a different order, and that's fine. So I'm going to look. Maybe I'll start this way. You most likely didn't do this, but 8 and 10, I know that 2 goes into both of them. So 8 divided by 2, that's a 4. 10 divided by 2, that's a 5. Okay, now I'm going to come to these diagonals. I can take a 5 out of both. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. All right, now I'll come to these diagonals. 4 and 16. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Now I can multiply. Across the top, 1 times 1 gives me a 1. Across the bottom, 1 times 4 gives me a 4. So my answer is 1/4. Now, even if you did that a different way, the thing that matters is that you get 1/4 for your final answer. Let's come over to the second one. I'll start with 12 and 18 this time. I know that 6 goes into both of those. So 12 divided by 6 is 2. 18 divided by 6 is 3. Okay, I'm going to look at the 2 and the 20 now. I'll divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Okay, now I'm going to look at the 14 and the 10. I'll divide by 2 again. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Okay, I don't see anything else I can simplify, so I'm going to go straight across. 1 times 7, that's 7. And 5 times 3, that's 15. I cannot simplify that anymore, so there is my final answer. All right, now I'm going to show you one where we're multiplying 3 numbers. Now, the nice thing about this is that you can still simplify any diagonals. Now, when you can simplify going up and down. So I'll kind of show you what that means. Take a look at this 4 and this 6. Now, you see how the 4 is on the bottom, the 6 is on the top, and they're still diagonal from each other. You can simplify any 2 numbers as long as one's on the top, one's on the bottom. I should just tell you that instead of diagonally or vertically, as long as one's on the top, one's on the bottom. So the 4 and the 6, I know that 2 goes into both of them. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, found that to simplify. Now, I'm going to see if I see anything else. Okay, here's a 2 and a 2. They're diagonal. One's on the top, one's on the bottom. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Okay, let's see what else I see. I see a 3 and a 9. I know, well, first let me point this out. You see this 3 and this 3? Some people try to cancel that. You cannot cancel that because both 3's are on top. So what you can do is, let's come back to a 3 and a 9. Here's a 3 on top, a 9 on bottom. Let's go ahead and simplify that. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Now let's look over here. I can use these 2 3's. One's on top, one's on bottom. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. All right, let's see. Sometimes if you're getting a lot of marks, sometimes you might just want to multiply and then try to simplify too. So if I go straight across, 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. On the bottom, 1 times 1 is 1, times 8 is 8. So my final answer is 1/8. All right, here's your last problem. I want you to write this one down, try it out. When you're finished, I want you to show your teacher your answer, and then your teacher will sign off on your checklist. So again, try to simplify before you multiply. When you get stuck, multiply it out and then simplify from there.